Fletcher and Javon are interesting because I've always thought the Eagles got to choose one.
John McMullen and Jody McDonald are your Mac and Mac guys here on Birds 365. Bye-week conversation. Eagles will not lose this week. They will not win this week because they are on the bye week. And then the schedule.
Jody, I gotta jump in real quick.
You're not going to tell me the Eagles got player of the
now one streak is over. The Eagles did not. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson did not get Defensive Player of the Week. Tariq Woolen of the Seahawks, the rookie corner, who I loved in the draft, by the way, ran like a 4.26 at 6'4". He is the Defensive Player of the Week. The one undefeated streak is over. 5 consecutive weeks. No Players of the Week for the Eagles.
And I'm sorry, Chauncey, I didn't think you were getting it this week. Sorry you didn't. If you did, I wouldn't have complained. But despite your 2 interceptions, I didn't think that was happening. A quick peek of the Eagles schedule. Pittsburgh. Who's going to be the Pittsburgh quarterback when they show up here? They got a game this week.
I think it's got to be Trubisky. I think it's got to be Trubisky. But you're right. They have a game. So, if he craps the you-know-what, I mean, they can go right back to – but I would think right now it's got to be the great Mitchell Trubisky.
He was actually
facetiously.
He actually was good against the
Hey, kid's got talent, but yeah, I'll take my chances against.
I gave him a game ball on my CBS Sports Radio show on Sunday. I said probably because I might not get another chance to give it to him. So, Mitch, enjoy this one, buddy, because you earned it, but you may never get another shot.
So your guy Quinnen Williams, by the way, AFC Defensive Player of the Week.
And I forget if he won or not. No, it was a week before he won Angry Runs on the NFL Network, which I watch every single Tuesday before we start. He's a very good player. You don't get defensive guys winning angry runs, but he picked up a fumble and just who was he manhandled somebody. I forget who it was. Maybe it was Tyreek Hill. Houston the week after. Oh, by the way, how big a mess are they? I thought Jack Easterby was as ingrained down there in Houston as Howie Roseman was here in Philadelphia. See you later, bye. Their owner gave him his walking papers about 10 days ago. I didn't see that happening. That organization is a mess right now.
Yeah, that it really is. And you look at what they did with David Culley. Could they do the same thing with Lovie Smith? Why don't they just give Josh McCown the job? Yeah, get it over with.
Yeah, but then they'll fire him after 1 year too, because that's what they do with all of their coaches.
Yeah, I don't think they will. I think that's what they wanted to do, but they felt they couldn't do it. And when you make decisions at head coach, and I criticize Denver as well, because they made a decision at head coach to recruit a player, which is dumb. And if you believe in a guy, even though you're going to take a lot of heat for hiring Josh McCown with no experience, if you believe in a guy, do it. But they were scared, and they're a bad organization. Bad organization.
Speaking of bad organizations, Washington the week after, chances are with Taylor Heineke coming to town instead of Carson Wentz. The Indianapolis organization is not on the sternest of footing either.
Yeah, how about Irsay going after Snyder yesterday?
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Those two guys back-to-back weeks, Washington and Indianapolis, before you get to Green Bay. This is a very doable part of the schedule, John. 6-0 can become 8-0. It can become 10-0 real fast. And then I kiddingly said the Eagles can't go 17-0, only half kiddingly. It's just so hard. And Arch Stenoda is going to lay down the law. We can't play any of our regulars if we got nothing to gain from the playoffs. So 17-0 is, for my money, kind of a pipe dream. But
I'll tell you, Nick Sirianni, if he's listening, and I hope you are, I hope you have it on in the background, Nick. he's going to get mad at me because you can't look ahead. You can't look ahead. I don't see there's any way that this team is not 9-0 3 weeks after the bye. I don't see how they lose to any of those three teams.
Nor do I. They just have significantly more talented rosters than the next three teams that they're facing. So, they're going to 9, which it will get us talking about 17-0 if we're not already talking about it. But I do want to ask you again. We asked John Stolness this. You commented a little. I want to hold you down a little bit more. The potential contract extensions that Howie Roseman may or may not be working on right now as we speak. You're right. You would prefer to do it when leverage is a little bit more on your side than it is on the other side. If your team is undefeated and we're arguing they are the Bills' best overall team in football, tough to go in and try and expect a player to take a little bit less than maybe the open market says. Here's the one thing that I think Howie can lean on, and again, it brings our guy Arch back into the conversation. Injuries. That's something you can always lean on. That you don't have to look up the record to that. Anyone can get hurt at any time, and it changes the dynamic of any negotiation. If a player suffers a major injury, it handicaps his, compromises his position to be able to ask for a big number via a salary. I think this was before your time here in Philadelphia, but we had this once here. And, we should get on and talk about this. Remind me to reach out for next week, Seth Joyner. When Seth was at his heyday playing his best football for the Eagles, his running mate at linebacker was Byron Evans, B&E.
Yeah, B&E.
And B&E was one of those guys. Do you want to extend him? Key member of the defense, middle linebacker, calling the signal linebacker. And at least the way it was reported by good reporters kind of like you. We could ask Tomo this question. He was certainly covering the team at the time. The word was that the Eagles had made him a very fair offer to sign a contract extension. And it wasn't fair in Byron Evans' mind. They just couldn't come to him. Byron thought he was better than what the Eagles were offering him. And he never signed off on it. And in the second half of the year, last year of his contract, he ripped up his knee, but good. And he never got that multi-year contract offer from the Eagles or anybody else thereafter. And it truly did handicap him. Now, this is 20 plus years ago. So this is not something that you can relate to today's players, but you can try. And there might be some agents that have been around long enough that can relate to the fact, a major injury at the wrong time can cost your client a whole bunch of money. That's what I think Howie's got to lean on if he's going to get a deal done over these next couple.
Yeah, I think it's. This seems like a Arshton Oda day. I'll bring him up again. I mean, that the difference in medical procedures from today back, even that time frame is huge. I mean, a knee injury today is not nearly as devastating as it was back then. So that kind of works against you in that aspect. I always say you can't legislate injuries from a team perspective, from a player perspective. You see guys bet on themselves every week because you can get hurt in this league. I mean, we see with Lamar Jackson most notably. Now it helps that he was a first round pick, so he's got the big spike in salary anyway from his option. Guys bet on themselves all the time. I think from a leverage standpoint, this is not the time for Howie Roseman. They're too good. That's probably not going to change, though. So I look at the two guys most likely to sign extensions being the two sort of homegrown guys. And Marcus Epps isn't technically homegrown, but he feels like the Eagles are the team that gave him his chance. So I think there's some loyalty there, and TJ's completely homegrown. Same thing. I think he feels a loyalty to the Eagles. I think maybe you can, this is probably not the right word, but it's what you do in negotiations. Maybe you could prey on that a little bit more than what I call the so-called mercenaries. James Bradbury's been around for a long time. He's been through free agency. He knows how this works. He knows if he keeps playing the way he's playing, he's going to cash in. Now, maybe his age plays into that. a little bit. Kyzir White as well. He's not happy with the deal he got. So he probably wants to go back on the open market. I don't know if he's going to be apt to take much of a discount. Um, Fletcher and Javon are interesting because I've always thought the Eagles got to choose one. And, you know, they probably want as much information as possible. And I think, Howie's very close to Fletcher. I think that helps Fletcher. There's a lot of moving parts, but I don't think you can sign both of those guys. I really don't. So that to me would go a little bit deeper. And then Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, I think, is in that more information category as well. He's made some splash plays, but overall he hasn't played that well. And that's a difficult transition. They're hoping he gets better and better and better. Jonathan Gannon mentioned it yesterday. He's left some stuff on the table, to be kind. But he's made some splash plays. He's certainly improved. He's better than what they had, but I think they want more information. So I think the two most likely remain TJ Edwards and Marcus Epps.
Would tend to agree on both of those two guys. And if you had to choose one or the other, here's the question I would have for you. We talk probably too much about the value the league puts on a position, which I love the fact that every single general manager on the planet says, I'm not going to be dictated by what other teams do. Yeah, you are.
Everybody dictated. Yeah.
You can kid yourself that you're not dictated to, but that's the way sports works these days. Contracts are what it's all about. Where is the NFL at putting value on the linebacker position and the safety position? Is there a big difference? We know it's quarterback, it's wide receivers, it's pass rushers, it's tackles. Those are the positions that get paid more so than the others. Comping linebacker to safety, how big a deal is that difference?
Neither are, marquee positions, which
Right.
are now, obviously quarterback, but left tackle, offensive tackle, cornerback, edge rusher, defensive tackle. But safety is bigger than linebacker. And it depends, like I put edge rushers in a different category. Some people, Hassan Reddick's a linebacker. No, he's not. No, he's not. He's an edge rusher. They pay edge rushers. They don't pay linebackers.
Right. And neither of the Eagles linebackers is considered a pass rusher.
No. Hassan Reddick is, and they paid him. So, kind of semantics there. But edge rushers get paid. All-ball linebackers don't. With safety kind of in between. They'll pay proven guys. It's interesting. Safety might be the most interesting position in the NFL. You saw it with Marcus Williams. The Eagles wanted him. He got a big payday. They pay veteran proven guys, but they don't value safety in the draft. We can't take a safety that high. It's bizarre because they're willing to pay. It's usually both. It seems like they're willing to pay proven veteran safeties, but they aren't willing to, push them up. Occasionally, Kyle Hamilton this year.
Right, but I was going to say, which got taken first this year? Was there a linebacker actually taken before Kyle Hamilton? I don't think so.
I don't know. Occasionally, Devin White
from Utah. Where did he go?
No, 20s. 20s. Yeah, nobody. The first linebacker was the kid, the Georgia kid that to Green Bay, I believe.
Right, but I look at him like
he was Reddick. He was in the 20s as well. So this year, but there have been linebackers in the top 10. Roquan Smith, the kid in Tampa Bay, Devin White was a top 10 pick. So, it always depends on the player. Like running back, right? We talk running back is clearly devalued. Yep. Saquon Barkley, Christian McCaffrey. It's always on the player. If there's just a flat out, no doubt about it player Yeah, he'll get pushed up in the top 10. I thought Kyle Hamilton would have went in the top 10 this year, but he fell a little bit out. Overall, though, they don't value safeties as much as the other positions as young players, as rookie players, as draft picks, but they value them as veterans. So it's a little bizarre. Usually, edge rushers they value, tackles they value, quarterbacks they value. It doesn't matter. Young, old, indifferent. Safety's a little bit of a weird in between.
Right. And I asked you specifically about the league in general, but if you're going, which is actually more important, directly to the Philadelphia Eagles, with the offseason that they had, yeah, they were ready to pay Marcus Williams. They had what was assumed to be a really competitive offer out there, and Baltimore just came in and blew that offer out, and he ended up signing there. So if you're just trying to read, if you got him like this and one's going to go this way, one's going to go that way, linebacker or safety, I think the Eagles value safety more than they do linebacker, and that may play to C.J. Gardner and or Marcus Epps' advantage.
Well, the good thing is also they're not going to have to pay either of them anywhere near what Marcus Williams got. So in the case of Marcus and TJ, they're both, and that plays into it as well. They'll both still be cost effective from the Eagles standpoint.
Which has got the better chance to be less cost effective?
Boy, neither. But if you're asking me who's going to make more, probably TJ by a smidge.
Yeah, see, I'm not sure of that because I think the Eagles do.
He's just more. He's a better player.
That wasn't the question I asked you.
I know, and that's more. Why. But that's why I'm explaining. If it were even, or even Marcus was, TJ was slightly above Marcus. Yeah, I know what you're saying. Safety would get more money. I think TJ is going to get more money because he's a significantly better player.
All right, here's one you can look up during the break while we punch up Mike Gill. Where TJ Edwards ranks among middle linebackers and where Chauncey Gardner ranks among safeties. My guess is it's going to be TJ higher, but I'd like to know the comp one between the others since we do bring in and incorporate Pro Football Focus's rankings enough. I think it's one that's worth comping. All right, we're headed down the shore next. Our pal Mike Gill from the Sports Bash 97.3 ESPN joins us on Wednesdays here on Birds 365. He's coming up next.